From the city of Peaky Blinders, Birmingham, England, I would like to introduce you to Paddy Danda.
As the world becomes more automated and the robots take over, it's imperative that we build the right human skills for the future. So pull up a chair, grab a samosa or two, and make yourself very uncomfortable. Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the Superpowers School podcast. I am joined by Karen Witchalls Plunkett, who has many years of presenting, broadcasting, acting, you name it, she's done it. And she even has a talent agency as well. So welcome to the show, Karen. I'm really excited to hear what is your superpower that you're bringing to this episode.
Oh, Paddy, thank you. And thank you very much for having me. I thought actually, because I guess it's still so topical, many of us are very much in front of our screens and having to, let's say, connect with other individuals and with teams. So my superpower is getting over that fear really of being in front of the lens and learning to enjoy it. If you've got a presentation to do or if you've got a pitch to do, perhaps I can give a little bit of insight and some little tips and hints that might help some of your viewers and listeners. People just say, oh, I hate the sound of my own voice. I hate what I look like on camera. So I was trying to flip that and think, well, actually, really, is this about you, in fact? Or is it about your audience? So just have that as a thought in your head, because often then you get too absorbed in your own thoughts about you and worrying about you, and then almost forgetting of the experience that you're going to give to people that are actually viewing you. And so by doing that can actually take away some of the fear, because when you're on screen, you're in front of individuals or, as I say, a larger audience, you're there and you've perhaps been asked there or asked to contribute because you're an expert in your field. So focus thinking about how you sit in front of your camera and your positioning and getting that right. Even your background, which I know we've talked about, Paddy, and I know last time when we spoke, you haven't done it today, but you actually said to me, oh, I've worn something brighter today, Karen, because I knew I was going to be speaking to you. And just with sort of changing things up a little bit or tidying up. We're on these calls a lot. You can get virtual backgrounds. Do be aware of them because you can get some funny flaring going on if they don't quite work. So I always say don't have clutter around that, because people will probably be going, oh goodness, what have you got hung up there? Or, it's something. I did have someone I trained that they had sort of, their clothes seemed to be sort of hung all over the place, but it looked a bit like a jumble sale. But you don't want distractions is what I'm seeing. So you want to show up looking professional, but also then, as I say, it builds confidence and knowing your setup. So other things that are really simple is getting the height right of your sort of shot area, if you like, and not being sort of too low and down here, and not so that you're looking up at your screen. You can hear what's happening to my voice because I'm looking up. Playing around, and if you've got a laptop or even if it's a desktop that you may need to rise up, you can put some folders underneath or books underneath. You may have a riser, which I've got a laptop riser. Really simple, really inexpensive, that again gives a much more professional look, and finding where that lens is. And you've probably seen often, I sort of did that of people, I'm exaggerating, but sometimes you see, if you're watching TV interviews, you see that people are actually not even looking at the camera at all. So you can see I'm not connecting with my audience. So it's a matter of also finding that lens, that little green dot or red, whatever it is on your screen. And I'm looking directly at it now. And I was always taught when I first, or even before I got in front of the lens, that the lens is your friend. It's a friend, or it's a colleague. It's someone you enjoy having a conversation with. So it might be someone you enjoy having a drink with when we can go to pubs in some places, not everywhere, but or you enjoy having a conversation over the phone with. So think of it like that, because some of the fear is, oh my gosh, I'm turning on this green light and suddenly it might only be one or two people, or it might be goodness knows how many people are tuning in. And again, I say, so don't have that thought in your head. Have somebody in your head that you really enjoy having that conversation with. And I even say, it might be your pet. It might be your cat or your dog that makes you smile or puts you in a positive mood. And also it's sort of, again, is holding that lens and getting used to it and being comfortable with it. And then other things that I talk to people about doing, playing a favorite piece of music. If you are feeling sort of really nervous and anxious, the fact that perhaps you're giving a talk, a presentation, or co-hosting, or you're part of a Q&A, whatever it is, you need to be in that almost that right frame of mind to show up as the best version of you. And it's finding for you what works to really give you that confidence. So is it playing a favorite piece of music of yours that you really enjoy? Or is it looking at some photos that bring back brilliant memories? Sometimes I'll say, perhaps even put a picture, stick it up behind your lens of someone you enjoy having that conversation with, or even draw a smiley face. I know a lot of us, we're sat at home and we're wearing casual clothes maybe, but maybe make that extra effort. And even if you do wear your tracksuit bottoms that people can't see, it's all dress up top. I don't know if you are a tracksuit bottom.
I've got some joggers on, yeah.
I say to people that maybe do go the full way and put a smart pair of shoes on, or your favorite pair of shoes. See how that makes you feel. So those are some tips to, let's say, help you get in the right frame of mind, as well as thinking about a bit about your tech. And also, I know many of us are still at home, and lighting is really key. I'm very fortunate, I've got a window that I'm facing, which you have to check the time of day. It is a little bit dull today. Light does change. But if you can set up in front of your window, great, because that can give you brilliant natural light, and then that can be enough. But if not, have a look again online at the simple little bits of kit you can get, as a simple light a ring light being put behind your computer that will enhance, from thinking of the viewer's point of view again. And you talked about a gentleman before that the screen was very blue for whatever reason. There may have been a glitch at that point, but was there something he perhaps could have done with his lighting that may have helped? But again, this is going back to preparation. It might have just suddenly happened, but it's checking. And I always make sure I'm connecting early on the call so that I can check my audio, I can check my visual, my positioning, and I can make sure that I'm not going to have any interruptions. My phone's on silent, all those little things. Aside from that, rehearse. If it's a long session, obviously you can't keep rehearsing the whole thing. But make sure that first time you're seen, how you show up, and then the first time you're heard, it takes a few seconds for people to form an opinion, only a few seconds. And so from when you, as I say, show up, and then you first start to converse, you need to grab the audience. So you need to, even if it's a matter of learning, let's say, that introduction, those first few sentences, really have those in your head. There are very few people who can just shout and talk and be confident with that and deliver information that's interesting, engaging, and that people, you don't waffle on. So that's why I say those first sentences really important. Have those, I like to say, have those nailed, right. Because then you can use that time and again and adapt it and do some very simple breathing to center yourself, to calm things down. Nerves can run away with us, but we can then sort of use those nerves to our benefit, but just have that moment. Do you want to have a moment, Paddy?
Oh, yeah, why not? Why not?
A little moment to
come on, then let's do it.
Just do it. It's a very simple moment. So just going to ask, well, everyone really, to sit where they are, just put your feet flat on the floor so they're grounded. And you can do this for all sorts of situations in life, in fact, where you are feeling a little anxious, a little nervous. And it's all we're going to do. And also I say, close your eyes for this as well. So just shut out everything else. Close our eyes, and I'll give a count of 1, 2, 3. And then I'll ask us to breathe in for 1, 2, 3, expanding that diaphragm as if we are imagining we're blowing up a balloon sideways. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, breathe in for 1, 2, 3, blow up that balloon. Hold that for 4, and then we're going to do a nice breath out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what we're not going to do is collapse into a heap. So here we go. We're sitting nice and tall. You keep the arms relaxed. Close your eyes if you choose to. I'm going to do that myself. Here's our count. 1, 2, 3. Big breath in. Expand that diaphragm. 2, 3, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through the mouth. 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll do that once again. Here we go. So find that seated position. Don't hunch the shoulders up. And again, when you're on screen, the last thing we want is anything hunched here. So actually, we'll just give those a little roll back, shall we, to relax us off, which again is a good thing to do. And then we'll come.
Yeah, mine creaking actually. I think
I was going to say the same thing, Paddy. Yeah, get this. And if you are someone who sat at a computer a lot, a great thing to do, and stand up and move those shoulders around. Okay, so we're nice and relaxed. So if you choose to close your eyes, this time actually put your hands, you can't see, but I just put them on sort of my diaphragm just to see if you can feel that expanse at the side. So here comes our count. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, out through our mouth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you should hopefully feel a little bit calmer. If you may not have had any nerves at that point, of course, whatsoever, but if you find that you are anxious, nervous, then just doing that very simple breathing exercise can bring things down. But conversely, as I said, we don't want to bring everything down so we're almost falling asleep. So with those little shoulder rolls, that gets things moving. And we'll just expand on that because we do want the blood to be flowing. And if you're open to this, Paddy, we'll just do a bit of a shake of one of our arms. So we're just going to shake the fingertips. There we go. Up and then down. Lovely. And the other one. Here we go. Up. Great. And down. Now we're going to do both together this time. So up we go. And then down. Lovely. And again, up we go. And then down. We'll do one more actually. So it's getting the blood flowing. That we've got our inner calm, but we've got this kind of outer energy, this out of let's say this is out of superpower, of a better word, Paddy. So now we can do a lovely big stretch up. And I love doing this one because this opens the chest. And again, rather than, which we did hopefully with our breathing, rather than sort of showing up and everything sort of being in and tense and tight, we want to be sort of open. So let's say we can give to our audience. So this time, and you just follow me on this, we'll do a lovely big stretch up. Obviously we lose my hands at the top there. Now a lovely yawn. Oh, great. I'll stretch the arms out and just hold them. Feel that expanse across the chest. Fantastic. And then give that shake down again. Get that energy going. Brilliant. And let's do that one more time. So let's do our lovely stretch. Up. Great. Big yawn. Stretch open. Hold there. And shake down. Now we've done those just quickly sort of seated, as you can do them standing. There's no reason to walk around and shake your legs around as we've done with our hands to really get that blood flowing. And before I get in front of camera, I will do those simple exercises.
So Karen, thank you so much. I've certainly picked up loads of tips there. I'm sure our listeners will have taken away lots of useful practical tips. I've certainly been using some of those since we last talked. And I have to say they are brilliant. Just before we wrap up this particular episode, Karen, would you like to just talk about your business? I know you help coach and train people in presenting in front of the camera. It'd be great to hear from you.
Yes, it was just a sort of a natural progression, really. So having my agency, Perfectly Matched Presenters, which is for professional presenters and voiceover artists, obviously there's been this big explosion of new media and this whole push for everyone to be visible and to be seen and to be on screen. And I realized that I could potentially help people that hadn't, had that experience, but actually needed it and needed to get out there for their brand or for the business they work in. They've been told, oh, you're going to have to get on camera, or we've got a conference coming up, but actually it's going to be done virtually now. And so I set up businesses on screen, and I'd actually tested it a number of years ago with something called Teens on Screen. So it's for teenagers to give them it was confidence building interview technique. And we were able to go to studios and work in teams to create their own TV program. So it was then giving them a whole mixture of skills. And so I do one-to-one sessions on screen at the moment, and also group sessions. And you very kindly introduced me to a lady who I'm now working within their business, a big recruitment company. Again, Paddy, and a big thank you to yourself. And it just shows you, as you said, you linked in with me. We had calls, we did a podcast, and then the introduction came in, and here we are. And this is the second year now. I'll be working with that business.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. All of it is getting out there, isn't it?
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Karen, for that. Yeah, there was an introduction there, but your sort of talent and your hard work has helped you cement that relationship. Karen, we are out of time, and I want to thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure as always talking to you. It gets me to really reflect on the things that I'm perhaps doing badly or maybe need to improve upon. Forgot to wear the bright top today, but I'm sure there's lots of other improvements as well. But thank you so much for taking your time out today and joining us.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.